I was 7 when I learned what invisible felt like. Not the fun kind from fairy tales. The crushing kind that makes you question if you even exist. My name is Violet, and this is the story of how I spent 25 years trying to earn love that was never meant for me. Until I finally stopped trying. Picture this. The Blackwood family dinner table, 1998. Mom's ladling out mashed potatoes, Dad's carving the roast, and my little sister Scarlett, 4 years old with golden ringlets and dimples, is chattering about her day at preschool. And then I painted a butterfly, and Mrs. Henderson said it was the most beautiful one she'd ever seen. Mom practically glows. "Oh, sweetheart, you're so talented. We'll put it right on the refrigerator." I clear my throat. "I got an A+ on my science project about volcanoes," Mrs. Garcia said. "That's nice, honey." Mom doesn't even look up, too busy cutting Scarlett's meat into perfect little pieces. "Scarlett, tell us more about your butterfly." And just like that, I'm erased again. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was my childhood. While Scarlett got horse riding lessons, I got hand-me-down clothes. While she got elaborate birthday parties with hired magicians, I got sheet cake and a few neighborhood kids. When she cried about a scraped knee, Mom would drop everything. When I broke my arm falling off my bike, Dad complained about the emergency room bill for weeks. The worst part? Scarlett wasn't even mean about it. She was just obliviously golden. Teachers loved her, other parents fawned over her, and my own parents acted like she was made of spun sunlight while I was just background noise. By high school, I'd learned to expect nothing. While Scarlett was crowned homecoming queen junior year, I was valedictorian senior year. Guess which one got the celebration dinner? "We're so proud of you both," Mom said that night, raising her glass to Scarlett's tiara while my acceptance letter to Northwestern lay unopened on the counter. College was my salvation. 3 states away from the Blackwood family hierarchy, I could finally breathe. I threw myself into pre-med, made real friends, and for the first time in my life felt like I mattered. That's where I met David Chin. Brilliant, kind, and completely unaware of my family dynamics. When I brought him home senior year, something shifted in my parents' demeanor. "A doctor." Dad's eyes actually lit up. "And his family owns that successful restaurant chain?" Suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. Suddenly, they wanted to know about my grades, my plans, my boyfriend's family wealth. It should have felt good. Instead, it felt hollow. David and I married 2 years later. The wedding was beautiful, paid for entirely by his generous parents while mine contributed exactly $50 and spent the reception talking about Scarlett's new modeling contract. Life was good for a while. I finished medical school, landed a residency at a prestigious hospital, and David's tech startup was thriving. We bought a house in Maplewood Heights, the kind of neighborhood I'd dreamed about growing up. Then came Lily. Our daughter was born on a Tuesday in October, perfect and healthy. David cried when he held her. I'd never felt love like that. Pure, unconditional, fierce. I thought having a grandchild might change things with my parents. I was wrong. "She's cute," Mom said when they finally visited 3 weeks later. Scarlett's engagement photos turned out amazing, by the way. Did you see them on Facebook? Even holding their grandchild, I was still second place. The divorce hit like a meteor. David's startup went under, he spiraled into depression, and suddenly the man I'd married was gone. In his place was someone angry, distant, who blamed me for everything wrong in his life. "You're just like your parents," he said during our last fight. "Nothing's ever good enough for you." The irony was suffocating. The settlement left me with half of nothing and full custody of Lily. I moved back to our hometown, couldn't afford anywhere else, and took a job at the local clinic. It wasn't the prestigious career I'd planned, but it paid the bills. My parents' reaction to the divorce was predictably tone-deaf. "We never really liked David anyway," Mom said over coffee. "Too intense. Scarlett's fiancé Marcus is so much more charming." I wanted to scream. Instead, I focused on Lily. She was 3 now, bright and curious, and I was determined she'd never feel invisible the way I had. That's when the request started. "Honey, you know how tight things have been since Dad's heart attack," Mom called one evening. "The medical bills are just overwhelming. Could you possibly help with the mortgage this month?" I'd been making good money at the clinic, and my parents had helped Scarlett with her wedding costs. Seemed fair. "Of course, Mom. How much do you need?" 500 became 1,000, became my new normal. Every month, another crisis. Dad's medication, Mom's car repair, the roof that needed fixing. I wrote the checks because somewhere deep down I thought this was finally my chance to be the good daughter. Meanwhile, Scarlett, now married to Marcus, a successful lawyer, was apparently too busy with her photography business to help. Translation: she was too selfish, but they'd never say that about their golden child. The call came at 2 a.m. on a Thursday in March. Violet. The nurse's voice was calm but urgent. This is Cedar Hills emergency. Your father's had another heart attack. You need to come now. I threw on clothes, called my neighbor to watch Lily, and raced to the hospital. Dad was stable but serious. I spent the next 3 days in that waiting room, taking time off work, coordinating with doctors, handling insurance paperwork. Scarlett showed up once, for 20 minutes, with her photographer friend to document the family crisis for her grief series. I wish I was joking. This is really powerful content, she told me, snapping photos of Mom crying in the hallway. Authentic human emotion is so hard to capture. I stared at her. Our father nearly died. I know. That's what makes it so raw. Dad recovered, thankfully. The bills didn't. Between his medical costs and Mom's newfound anxiety about being alone, my monthly help doubled. I was sending them nearly $3,000 a month. More than my mortgage. But they needed me. For the first time in my life, they actually needed me. The illusion shattered on a random Tuesday in June. I was scrolling through Instagram during my lunch break when I saw it. Scarlett's latest post. She was standing in front of a brand new BMW, holding keys and grinning. Surprise early birthday gift to myself. Sometimes you just have to invest in your happiness. #blessed, #new car, #treat yourself. The comments were full of praise. Mom had even replied, "You deserve it, princess. So proud of how successful you've become." I screenshot the post and called Mom immediately. "Oh, that car." Her voice was suddenly small. "Well, Scarlett's been doing so well with her photography. She booked that wedding last month, you know." "Mom, you told me you couldn't afford Dad's heart medication next month. I just sent you $3,000. "Well, yes, but Scarlett earned this. She works so hard." "I work hard too. I've been paying your bills for 8 months while working 60-hour weeks and raising a daughter alone." "That's different, honey. You're a doctor. You make good money. And Scarlett's married to a lawyer. Marcus keeps his money separate. It's a modern marriage thing." I hung up. For the first time in my life, I hung up on my mother. That night, I did something I'd never done before. I looked at my parents' social media. Really looked. The evidence was everywhere. Dinner photos at expensive restaurants. Weekend getaways to wine country. Mom's new jewelry. Dad's golf club membership renewal. A lifestyle that didn't match their supposed financial struggles. And then I found the smoking gun. A family group chat I'd somehow never been added to. Scarlett had posted screenshots of it on her private story by mistake. "Dad, Violet sent another check. We can definitely afford the kitchen renovation now." "Mom, I almost feel bad. She's so eager to help." "Scarlett, she's finally useful for something." Face with tears of joy. Marcus, harsh but fair. "At least you don't have to deal with her holier thou attitude as much." "Mom, she gets that from David's side. Always so serious about everything." I read it 3 times. Then I called my neighbor again. "Can you watch Lily tonight? I need to make a drive." I didn't knock. I still had a key from when I used to check on them during Dad's recovery. I walked into their pristine living room, paid for with my money, and found them exactly where I expected. Gathered around the dinner table, Scarlett and Marcus included, probably planning their next guilt trip. "Violet." Mom jumped up, startled. "What are you doing here? Where's Lily?" I set my phone on the table, Scarlett's screenshot glowing on the screen. The silence was deafening. "So," I said calmly, "I'm finally useful for something." Dad cleared his throat. "Honey, that's not what we meant." "Isn't it?" I looked around the table. 8 months of sending you money I couldn't afford while you laughed about how eager I was to help. 8 months of skipping meals so I could pay your fake bills while Scarlett bought a BMW. Wait just a minute," Marcus started, but I cut him off. "No, you wait. Do you know what I did last week? I sold my engagement ring, the one David's grandmother left him, to make sure I could send you money for Dad's medication. Turns out that money went toward your kitchen renovation." Mom's face went pale. "We never asked you to sell anything." "You didn't have to ask. You raised me to believe that love was conditional, that I had to earn it, that I was only valuable when I was useful. So when you finally needed me, I gave you everything I had because I thought maybe, finally, I mattered to you. Scarlett shifted uncomfortably. Vi, you're being dramatic. Am I? I turned to her. When Dad was in the ICU for 3 days, how many hours did you spend at the hospital? I was working. 20 minutes, Scarlett. You spent 20 minutes visiting our dying father, but you found time to post 12 Instagram stories that week about your artistic journey. That's not fair. What's not fair is that I've spent 25 years watching you get everything handed to you while I scraped for scraps of attention. What's not fair is that when you finally had a chance to help our parents, you bought yourself a car instead. What's not fair is that even now, they're more concerned about your feelings than the daughter who's been bleeding herself dry for them. I looked at my parents. You want to know what the saddest part is? I would have helped you anyway. If you just asked honestly, if you treated me like family instead of an ATM, I would have helped. Dad found his voice. You are family. No, I said quietly. Family doesn't use each other. Family doesn't lie and manipulate and laugh behind each other's backs. Family shows up when it matters. I picked up my phone. I'm done. No more checks, no more emergency loans, no more pretending that sending you money will somehow make you love me the way you love her. Violet, please. Mom started crying. We do love you. You love what I can do for you. There's a difference. I headed for the door, then turned back one last time. For what it's worth, I hope your kitchen renovation turns out beautiful. Try not to break Dad's heart again when you realize Scarlett won't be paying for the next one. That was 6 months ago. My phone rang constantly for the first few weeks. Tearful voicemails from Mom, angry texts from Dad, indignant messages from Scarlett about how I was tearing the family apart. I blocked them all. The financial pressure was real at first. Without that extra $3,000 going out every month, I could finally breathe again. I paid off my credit cards, built an emergency fund, even started a college savings account for Lily. More importantly, I invested in therapy. Dr. Martinez helped me understand that the little girl who just wanted her parents to notice her didn't have to keep living in the shadow of someone else's golden light. You can't love someone into loving you, she told me during one session. And you can't earn unconditional love. By definition, it's not for sale. The best part? Lily thrives without their toxic energy. He's confident, funny, curious about everything. She knows she's loved just for existing, not for what she can provide. We have family dinners now, just the two of us usually. Sometimes Dr. Chin from the clinic joins us. He's been asking me out for months, and I'm finally ready to say yes to someone who sees me as enough, just as I am. Last week, Lily brought home a drawing from school. It was the two of us in front of our little house, holding hands under a bright yellow sun. Who else should I put in our family picture? She asked. I looked at the paper, at our complete little world, and smiled. Nobody, sweetheart. We're perfect just the way we are. And for the first time in my life, I meant it. Sometimes the family that's supposed to love you can't see past their own shadows to find your light. Sometimes the people who should lift you up spend their whole lives keeping you small. Sometimes the greatest act of love you can give yourself is walking away from the people who taught you that you weren't worth staying for. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm not second best. I'm not useful or practical or any of the other dismissive words they used to describe me. I'm just Violet. And finally, beautifully, that's enough. Sometimes the family you're meant to have isn't the one you're born into. Sometimes you have to break the cycle to find the light. Sometimes the greatest revenge is simply refusing to play a game where you can never win. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is realize you were never the problem. You were just trying to bloom in soil that was never meant to grow your kind of flower. If you want more Reddit story, hit the like or subscribe button. Thanks.